Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into yet another rendition of my top 10 best bets, week 9 edition. It's crazy that we've already reached week 9. It is Halloween weekend coming up. Happy Halloween to everyone. I had a great week last week, hit on 2 parlays. My best bets this week, I'm feeling so good. Guys, make sure you're following me on Twitter. I've been going crazy on there. A link to that's always in the description. My Twitter, during the weekends, I've been live tweeting things like that, so make sure you follow me there. But let's get right into it. My top 10, it's really a top 15 best bets for week number 9. As you can see, I've changed the landscape a little bit. Nice Halloween colors. Troy at Coastal Carolina, the over 52. It almost would feel weird if Coastal Carolina was playing on a Saturday at this point, right? Coastal Carolina, they're always playing on a Wednesday or Thursday. I love it. I absolutely love it. Coastal Carolina, look for them to get back on track at home against Troy. I think Coastal's going to score by themselves, maybe into the 40s easily. I was shocked the over-under was this low. You know, Troy's a team that can put up some points. I'm thinking like a 48-28 type game. This is a Thursday night game. Things get a little weird. Things get a little frisky. 52, and all it has to hit is 52. Again, Coastal Carolina probably going to score 40-plus in a good bounce-back effort after that tough loss they had to Appalachian State. The over, a complete lock, a good way to start your week. Nice little Thursday night win. Moving on to number 2, we've got Michigan State at Michigan, the under 51.5. It is tempting to take Michigan State +4 at home. Great value in that. But I didn't love it 100%, so I just looked at the over-under, and I saw the over-under was 51, and I'm like, count me in for the under on that. Are you kidding me? I don't think either of these two teams are going to score a lot of points. Michigan's offense is very run-heavy. They not a lot of big plays. They like eating up the clock. We know Michigan State with Kenneth Walker, he's probably going to get around 30 touches, maybe 25 of them carries. That's going to eat up a lot of clock. Lower scoring game. We're looking at something like 24-20, even something like 24-23. I was surprised the over-under in this game was in the 50s. I was thinking it was going to be 47 or 48. 51.5, that's great value on the under. 2 quarterbacks here in Peyton Thorne, who's decent, and Cade McNamara, who's more of a game manager. Both of them kind of more game managers. Not great. Not many big plays generated in this one. Give me the under in East Lansing. Decent value on Michigan State +4, by the way. That's not in one of my best bets, but decent value there at home. Number 3, Iowa +3 at Wisconsin. Noon start time here. This is a game, don't overthink it. This is a value play. Iowa, I understand they suffered a terrible loss at home against Purdue. They had a bye week. They come back. They're on the road at a Wisconsin team who is a little bit underrated. They've had some tough losses. They have a really good defense, really bad offense. But to me, this is simply just a value play. It's going to be low scoring. It's going to be very close. And let's say even if Iowa loses, you have that 3-point buffer to where, well, if it's 20-19, you still cover. So I like the value there with Iowa. I think this line gets down to 2.5, maybe 2 by the weekend. Get in now at Iowa +3. It was originally Iowa +3.5. It's moved down to Iowa +3. Iowa not great on offense, but still a good team. This is a good team. Wisconsin had that big win last week against Purdue, so people are more high on them at home. That's why they're favorites here. I think the over-under in this game is 36, and I would not touch the over-under, by the way. But give me Iowa +3. Number 4, Texas +2.5 at Baylor. I'm just simply not a big believer in Baylor this year. I'm really not. And to me, this is an auto-correction game. I think Texas is better than their record says they are, and I think Baylor is worse than their record says they are. So what does that equal? A Texas win over Baylor. So a Texas win and a Baylor loss. I would love the Texas money line here, but I'll take them +2.5. That line has been, bet down. Originally, it was, I think, 4. It's been bet down to 2.5. Get in on Texas right now. I love Texas's team total over, by the way, with Bijan Robinson. I think he has 3 total touchdowns this weekend at Baylor. And Texas, who's better than their record says they are, gets a win in Waco. Number 5, Pitt -11 versus Miami. This is going to be a cold game. If Pitt gets up early, I think Miami's just going to completely quit. Miami had a big win last weekend, but it was at home in a primetime game. They played more inspired. They're on the road. I believe this is a noon start time. Heinz Field, low energy, 45 degrees, maybe 37, degree wind chill, something like that. It brings it down to 37. That's what I'm envisioning right now. Cloudy, not a lot of people in the stands. Pittsburgh, really good on offense. The great thing with Pittsburgh is you really have a buffer due to how good their offense is. So they're -11, but let's just say Miami for some reason scores 30 points. I would still be confident in Pitt scoring like 41 or 42 points to get the cover on this game. But personally, another bet I love, Miami, the under in their team total. I think their team total right now is 23.5. I don't think they're getting there. Miami, I think they get down early. They quit. 45-degree weather. They're going to be miserable traveling up north into Pittsburgh, into Pennsylvania. Give me Pitt minus 11. This is really their culmination game. They had the good win against Clemson last week at home. Now they need to staple it. You can't beat Clemson and then come back and lose at home to Miami. I know Miami's coming off that big win against NC State, but that was a completely different scenario. You're at home. It's 70 degrees. It's a night game. It's prime time. Now it's noon. You're traveling. You're on the road. You're going up north. Give me Pitt minus 11. Buffalo minus 12.5 versus Bowling Green. I've been in on Buffalo since forever. Bowling Green, kind of a streaky team, but they're really not very good. Buffalo, one of the better, more underappreciated teams in the MAC. Every week I've been betting them. Some weeks I'll win, some weeks I'll lose. But last week against Akron, they completely annihilated Akron. It was an easy win. They're at home against Bowling Green. Give me them. That line's already up to 12.5. Get in on it. It's moving quickly. We've got Colorado at Oregon, the under 49. Just don't see a lot of offense generated in this game. I think it's a 3:30 Eastern start time. Colorado is a team, they're horrific offensively, but they're not terrible on the defensive side of the ball. I could see something like a 38-7 type final score, Oregon winning, but the under would still hit. That's with Oregon scoring, 37, 38 points. So love the under 49 in that one. Boston College +5 at Syracuse. Kind of more of a value play going against the grain here. Syracuse coming off a big win. I love Sean Tucker, the running back. He's really good. But I like the value with Boston College here. I believe in their coaching staff, and I think they keep this game close in the Carrier Dome. Even if they lose, you still have that +5. I just saw this game, thought it was really good value. Think Boston College has a legitimate chance to win this game outright. Kind of buck the recent trend, the recent losing streak they've been on. But give me them +5 against the Syracuse team I'm not all that impressed with. Number 9, Minnesota at Northwestern, the under 44. So these Big Ten games, I love betting the under. This is going to be another sleep fest. These teams are going to sleepwalk through it. This might actually be a noon game. No, I think it's 3:30. If this was a noon game, I would guarantee the under hitting. But it might be 3:30. I still love the under. Minnesota's been better recently. Surprisingly, they've had some really nice wins in the Big Ten. Of course, we remember Minnesota losing to Bowling Green at home. That was just an inexcusable loss, but that's really their only loss besides the Ohio State Week 1 opener. So they've been doing well. I know they're, 8-point favorites? I wouldn't touch that at all, but give me the under 44. These two teams, it might be like 20-14 or something, might be the final there. The under easily hits. Wyoming at San Jose State, the under 40.5. Wyoming football, the experience, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I call Wyoming football. Every week, the under hits with Wyoming. I'm expecting a 3-3 halftime score in this game. It might be 0-0. This game is going to be absolutely glorious. San Jose State, terrible on offense as well. Wyoming, they don't score, but they don't give up points either. It's unbelievable. Every week with Wyoming, the under hits. This is a perfect game. We might have like a 10-7 final score. This is college football at its finest. I love this. I absolutely love it. Wyoming at San Jose State. If you would have said the over-under was 34, give me the under. But 40.5, great value there. Moving on to number 11. Got to wait for some animations. Houston -1 versus SMU. So I'm calling my shot here and predicting SMU to lose their first game at Houston. Houston's not a great team, but SMU is really bad on defense. Houston can move the ball. They're going to be at home. This is a 7 o'clock game. Houston's going to have the fan base behind them. It's going to be an inspired atmosphere. Give me Houston basically in a pick 'em. They are -1, so hopefully they're able to win by more than a point. Otherwise, it's a push. I know it was a pick 'em, but now the money's more onto Houston. Again, this is more not believing in SMU's defense. Also, what I'm guessing here is the over-under is going to be probably into the upper 60s. I would still take the over in this game. I think this is a shootout. This is a 36-33 type game. I haven't seen the over-under, but the over-under is probably going to be, if the over-under is anything lower than 65 in this game, the over is a lock. But I think the over-under is probably going to be like 68. Which would make it a little more tough, but I'd still take the over. These teams are going to be in an absolute shootout. SMU has a way above average offense, but a below average defense. Houston's going to be playing inspired football at home. Give me Houston -1 and the over if it happens. Number 12, USC -21 versus Arizona. I just can't do it with Arizona anymore. I bet on them a few times earlier this year. I think this is a game USC comes back home after losing to Notre Dame and just annihilates Arizona. I mean, maybe like 45-10 or something. USC really hasn't had a blowout win in a while. Arizona, what have they lost? 16 games straight. It's unfortunate. The thing with USC is, do they play inspired football? That's really the problem. You really get a mixed bag with USC from week to week. They definitely have the talent to beat Arizona 55-10. They're at home. I feel like if things spiral out of control early for Arizona, they'll just quit. 21-0 late in the first quarter, something like that. Arizona will just quit. I saw that as, I mean, minus 21, as good as a value as you're going to get against a team like Arizona with how talented USC is. Number 13, the auto lock. Here it is, Ohio State minus 17.5 versus Penn State. This line is crazy. It's climbing. Get in on it now. It's going to get to 20 probably very soon. Ohio State at home, the best offensive in college football, possibly one of the best offenses in college football history. They scored, what did they score? 47 points last week, or I think 44 points at half against Indiana in a driving rainstorm. They're at home versus a Penn State team, primetime ABC, scarlet out. Everyone's going to be wearing red. Penn State, a team that they're this close to quitting. James Franklin possibly leaving. I have a lot of respect for that program, Penn State, but they're in a bad spot right now. Ohio State, if you were to tell me Ohio State was 20-point favorites, I'd take them. If you were to tell me Ohio State's 25-point favorites, I'd take them. I am projecting a 60-burger from Ohio State this week, not a 50-burger. See, it's always a tradition. Ohio State always scores 50 points basically every game. But now I'm projecting a 60-burger. I think they win like 63-21, something like that. The over is a lock, so every week you're going to want to bet Ohio State, whatever the spread is, and then the over on the Ohio State game. I think Ohio State beats that over by themselves. They score 60-plus points, so the over 59 is a lock. Number 15, North Carolina plus 3.5 at Notre Dame. If Notre Dame covers this spread and wins this game, I really have to start giving them some respect because I have not been respecting Notre Dame at all. They are out of the playoffs. You know, they're an independent team that already has one loss. There's no conference championship, so they're not going to get in. Now, I do love me some Sam Howell and Josh Downs. I've got a bit of a man crush on Sam Howell type of thing. I think he's the quarterback one coming out this year in the draft. I know it's been a little bit more of a tough year, but I like Mac Brown in this matchup. This is really North Carolina and Sam Howell's last chance at national relevance this year. This is Sam Howell's last chance to make a statement, make scouts, believe that he is a top pick in the draft. Very motivated North Carolina team playing some inspired football on the road at a Notre Dame team who's due for a loss. Now, again, I will seriously give Notre Dame respect if they win this game and cover the spread here because I've been ragging on them. If they win this game, I mean, at some point you got to give them respect, right? Like they've had a nice season, although they've had some close games. They've won some. They have one loss against Cincinnati, but overall, North Carolina inspired football. They're really last chance this year. Mac Brown on the road. Notre Dame, upset possible happening here with Sam Howell playing inspired football. You've got Josh Downs. I love those guys. They're so fun to watch on offense. I also love the over in this game. I didn't put it on here, but originally I had this as over 62.5. That's what the over-under was. I like the over, but I'm just a little bit more confident North Carolina is going to cover the 3.5-point spread. Guys, those are my top 15 best bets for week number 9. Some huge matchups this weekend, especially in the Big Ten. You've got Ohio State and Penn State. You've got Michigan and Michigan State. That's a noon game. I have no clue why that's a noon game. Fox, big noon. That needs to be completely disbanded. I hate that so much. It is Halloween weekend, guys. Once again, happy Halloween. What a great time of the year. Videos this week. They're going to be coming. They're going to be rapid. It's crazy that you can see. I'm looking at some leaves right now that are changing colors. It's absolutely an unbelievable atmosphere. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. I've been going crazy on there all weekend. Link to that's always in the description, guys. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.